Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tariq. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and to check out the rest of my videos. Today I'm going to be talking about five-dimensional Earth, also known as New Earth or the New Paradigm. A lot of people have questions about how the end of the world will look and have ideas of a fiery rapture where we will all be judged and the ones who are bad will be left on Earth to live in an eternal hell, while the ones who are good will be swept up in a column of light to go to heaven. This idea is based on an outdated prophecy given in the book of Revelations, located in the Holy Bible. The true ending of the world will not be so dramatic because the energy on Earth has shifted considerably since those times. The future is based on the present, so we have the power to change prophecies with our actions and our thoughts. Currently, there is a rise in consciousness happening, which can be seen in movements such as Black Lives Matter, the legalization of same-sex marriage, a rise in environmental consciousness, and a focus on animal rights. We are shifting to Christ consciousness as a collective. Some consider this to be the second coming. Instead of Christ returning in a physical body, imagine a new wave of light coming upon the earth and lifting us to the same consciousness Christ embodied. Christ consciousness can most simply be described as a state of enlightenment. Yeshua earned the title Christ for reaching this state. He was able to face hell and rise again because he was an enlightened being and was able to realize we are all infinite and we are greater than the limitations we perceive in our physical forms. We live through many lifetimes during different time periods with different names, faces, and bodies other than this current one, and dimensions other than this earthly one, all at the same time because time is not linear. We don't have to wait for someone to save us because we can all reach Christ consciousness or enlightenment because we are all children or creations of Yah, the Creator, and we are all capable of infinite and unconditional love, light, and wisdom. The Earth at its current state can be referred to as three-dimensional Earth. Three-dimensional consciousness is ego-driven and focuses on the well-being of the individual rather than the well-being for all living things, for we are all interconnected. Plants, animals, and humans in the physical world, and all the things we can't see with our eyes in the spiritual world are all interconnected and one with the universe and ultimately the Creator. 3D consciousness manifests in our world as a dependency on money, as capitalism, as competition or believing there is not enough resources for all, as negative emotions such as anger, jealousy, envy, and lust, as suffering and lack or poverty, as unloving or conditionally loving relationships, as negative judgment of self and or others, as seeing ourselves as separate from God, which is really Yahweh, of physical sickness or unwellness, and as ownership over nature. 3D consciousness is harmful, as we can see by the current state our economy is in, the state the environment is in, and the way humans have collectively been misled with divisive ideologies in categories such as race, socioeconomic class, religion, and gender. All these things serve as identifiers and attempt to assign us a role on this earth in society, but we already have a role that has nothing to do with race or gender or money. We were someone before these things, and we will continue to be someone after these things are no longer important. 3D Earth is undergoing a shift through 4D Earth, which hasn't yet affected all of us here on Earth. 4D Earth's purpose is to lift the vibrations of the Earth's energy so that it can match the frequencies required to shift into the new Earth. A lot of people refer to 4D consciousness as a bridge between 3D and 5D consciousness. It is the process of awakening and gradually realizing the harm we are doing to ourselves, to the earth, and ultimately the universe, because all of our thoughts, words, and actions carry a vibration which is just like a level of energy. Thoughts of fear and hate act as an anchor and weigh us down. Alternatively, thoughts of love and forgiveness act as a balloon and lift us up. In 4D consciousness, we are realizing we are responsible for the thoughts we have, and it is our choice what kinds of energies we choose to add to the collective. 5D Earth, or New Earth, is what we are shifting to and manifests as unconditional love, acceptance, and peace. On a 5D Earth, we can expect to see all life, including plants and animals, respected and cherished. We will be shifting from ownership over nature into a partnership with nature and an understanding that we are not separate from nature. We will be able to understand that we all came from nature. We can expect to feel connected to the divine easily because we will understand we are all a part of the divine. We will be living in alignment with our true higher selves and the universe. Our lives will be an experience-based existence rather than a material-based existence. We will be able to focus more easily on the here and now rather than focusing and living in thoughts projected towards the future or the past. The light workers that are incarnating now and have incarnated in the past came to Earth in order to show us the way. Light workers are cosmic beings that incarnate to Earth at specific periods of time in order to help humanity through serving a task such as spreading knowledge or creating or doing something that benefits large collections of people in their time and the world by leaving an example to live by in history. Some famous light workers are Yeshua, most commonly known as Jesus Christ, Buddha, Harriet Tubman, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We do not have to have a giant platform, a lot of money, or be famous in order to do our part in making this transition. We can do simple things such as asking ourselves or our friends questions about society and brainstorming solutions to solve them, then setting those plans into positive action. It is also important to do our own inner emotional work to get to know ourselves and to heal ourselves so that we can shine our lights brightly. Understanding the difference between our 3D, 4D, and 5D selves can help us to recognize patterns in ourselves. It can also help us to recognize our growth once we begin to transition through the different levels of consciousness. To elaborate, our third-dimensional selves are emotionally immature and unconscious about how our emotional wounds impact our lives. In this state of consciousness, we are easily triggered. We play the victim instead of taking responsibility for the experiences we call into our lives, and we label ourselves and others. We may feel depressed, anxious, rageful, or manic. We look at situations as either good or bad, and we may use drugs, sex, working, consuming such as shopping or eating, alcohol, codependent relationships, or technology to numb or ignore our emotions. In this state of consciousness, we let our thoughts control our mind instead of our mind controlling our thoughts. Our fourth dimensional selves are becoming aware of emotional wounds. Something keeps biting me. Anyway, our fourth dimensional selves are becoming aware of emotional wounds, our shadow selves, and triggers. This awareness usually comes about after a life crisis, relationship crisis, sudden career change, a psychedelic experience, or a dark night of the soul. In this state of consciousness, we learn to embrace our emotions rather than rejecting or suppressing them. We also begin to make a conscious effort of letting go of negativity or things that may numb our feelings and gradually integrate all parts of ourselves. Our fifth dimensional selves are balanced and rarely experience strong emotional reactions. The main emotions we may experience are joy, bliss, desire, and sadness. In this state of consciousness, our emotional bodies are not wounded or congested, and we share emotions openly and freely when we feel them. We are motivated by love in every moment. The self-love we feel in this state is strong and draws love, respect, and acceptance from others around us. In this state of consciousness, we are totally free from suffering. To return to the topic of simple things we can do in order to assist in rising the consciousness in the vibrational frequencies of our planet, we can help the earth, people, and animals in small ways such as picking up trash, giving to the less fortunate, and respecting the space of animals and plants by not carving trees, not picking flowers, allowing bugs to live, and leaving spiderwebs alone, just to name a few of many different ways we can love and respect nature. If we all do our parts and keep the vision of New Earth alive, by educating ourselves and others, we can manifest this calm, peaceful world into our reality much faster than our ancestors assumed, which is exciting news for us living now and for generations to come. So that's all for today's video. Feel free to comment any questions you may have, or anything you liked, or anything that resonated with you. So yeah, just like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching.